so good. Look at you. You're all very, yes it is. Oh, a little bit halfway. You know, sometimes I didn't want you to be, all right, pull those, and then how does this look? Now you're all staring at, so stop, look up here. Guys, look at my hair. There's a lot to look at, so can you just please maintain your attention? It is a holiday weekend this weekend. I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited about a holiday weekend. Not because it means anything in my life. This is what I do for a living. There are no, you don't understand. But it always reminds me of my most favorite recent holiday experience. On Easter this year, on Easter, I had a real great experience. I went to a strip club for the first time on Easter. You know what I mean? So something was risen that day. Do you understand? It was my dick. Is that true? My dick's at home in a drawer. Statically. But I was in Portland, Oregon, doing some shows with a bunch of friends, and the women, like, it seems like to be a stripper is a thing. It's a life choice as opposed to something terrible that's happened to you. And I always want to applaud that. You know what I mean? That's sexy in a stripper. And so I went with a bunch of my friends. They were all going, and I went, and I thought it would be like, well, I had never been before, so I thought it would be like the movie Showgirls. You know, like I thought it would be like all like strategically placed black boxes and rivalry, but it wasn't like that. It was, the best way I could describe it would be like if you went to a place and it was just all your friends. It was just all your friends, you know? And then a butthole. Like a stranger's butthole. You could even have your friend lean in and you could get those things in the same frame. Then you, like, never even thought to imagine what my friend would look like next to a butthole. But now I'll know forever. I'll know forever. These women were very good at their jobs. I also didn't know that they would be effective, you know? Because one of the women, well, like, I'm a handsome gentleman, and I can handle myself with the ladies, but one of the women came over, and her hair was kind of brushing my neck, and she leaned over, and she said, "Hey, how's everybody doing over here?" And I said, "We're doing great! I feel fantastic." I didn't even know that a 29-year-old woman's voice could crack like that, but it can. Sure can. I just was suddenly wearing a backpack. Do you know what I mean? With hormonal acne. Like, I don't know what happened, but she made me nervous. And a bit hot under the collar. I'm always wearing a collar, so it was hot under there. My best friend actually bought me a lap dance, which is crazy, because did you know they touch you with their bodies? Like, her butt was on my tummy, and the way that I just described that should let you know I should never be the recipient of a lap dance. That's not a cool way to say that. How much for her butt on my tummy? Like, that's not on the menu of things you can get. Is there a menu? I don't know. She was sitting on me. This woman was sitting on me. And I wanted to make her feel comfortable. I don't know, because my voice is my instrument. So I thought I should say something. I don't know why I thought I should. Like, I'm pretty sure you're just supposed to sit there and like, you know, like, I don't know, like, like, even if there's nothing there, just do it for yourself. Like, whatever. But I felt like I should say something. So she was sitting, and I said, "I hope you like your job." I said that to a woman who was on me with her body. And she said, "I used to work with at-risk adolescent boys. I much prefer this." I was like, oh my God, I used to work in special ed. My point is, if you're a lesbian, you can turn any interaction into a coffee date. Just right into it. I was like, put on your bra, let's go talk about our parents, you know? What did you major in? God. How do you get your butt so smooth? You know what I mean? Hairless. Hairless bottoms. I understand how the arch is done because I've practiced. All right, you'll get that later. Recently, I was on an airplane. I almost saw the worst moment in two different people's lives at the same time because I was seated across the airplane aisle from the heaviest gentleman I've ever seen on a plane. I do not say that to make fun of this guy. He was a hero because he had more than one seatbelt extender on his body. There's no way he was comfortable. Like he was doing his darndest to just get from here to there, you know? And the thing is like, you know, sometimes dudes are heavy in a way where like like if you saw them from behind, you're like, well, there's a svelte dude. And then they turn and you're like, oh, it's in front. You keep it in front. This guy was kind of heavy like that, but times a million. Like the end of his stomach was almost touching the seat in front of him. And his wife was seated next to him, and I see coming down the aisle this 15-year-old girl. And you know how sometimes you see a 15-year-old girl, and you just think to yourself, oh, you don't know who you are at all yet. You know, because like she had outlined her entire body in eyeliner, just like, does this make me somebody? Like she didn't know, just. Her shoulders were up by her ears. She was traveling alone. She was wearing skinny jeans, but she hadn't grown into her body yet, so they were baggy, you know? And like, and she was carrying like a backpack that was just covered in Tori Amos patches or a more updated reference. And I'm sure filled with Neil Gaiman signed comic books. Like I'm sure of it. Like you could just tell from the outside they were vibrating nerd, you know? Like her backpack had glasses on it, like that sort of a thing. She was wearing a horizontal striped black and white t-shirt, like Tim Burton had created her and then pushed her onto the plane, like, go get him. And so she was stop motion animationing her way down the aisle, just trying to make it to her seat. And she got there and she was supposed to sit. She indicated to this heavy gentleman and his wife, she indicated to them like, I'm in the window seat, right? And the wife, this is how she responds. She stands up on her chair on the airplane, and then she climbs onto the armrest on the seat next to her, and she starts yelling at this 15-year-old girl, there's no way he can move! You're gonna have to climb over! And then she goes, like this! And she starts climbing on her husband, but there's not enough room. She gets stuck. So there's a human panini. You'll understand that there's a human panini. There's a two-flat of person. You could deliver mail like airplane seat, apartment 2. It would make sense. There's a stuck body stack. And the husband, you can just see that this is what their relationship is always like. Like he doesn't even, his eyes are just forward. He doesn't even flinch. He's just going, oh, my wife's climbing over me again. Like it's horrifying to watch the embarrassment that this fella must be feeling. Like at this point in their relationship, he's just an obstacle on her Google map of like, turn left at the man I married and used to respect. You know, like it was terrible to watch. And this 15-year-old girl, it's an early morning flight. So she has to make this decision. She has to either look two strangers in the eye and say, I'm sorry, you are too disgusting. And I do not want to start my day climbing or surfing over you. Or she has to start her day climbing and surfing over these people. And I can see that the weight of this decision in this one instant is turning this 15-year-old girl into an adult. Like, I want you to know that I could hear her training bra snap off. And she's signing a mortgage that just appeared out of nowhere. If her parents had been there, this moment would have been her bat mitzvah. Like, you could just see that she was reading this, like, you could just tell that she was just, and she was so embarrassed, she was so ashamed, she didn't know what to, she was just melting, just Alex Macking into a pile of eyeliner and horror at what the future would hold. And at the exact apex of this stress, at this terrible moment in her life and this gentleman's life, out of the aisle behind, just steps this flight attendant and she goes, or your husband can move to the window seat. She just solves the problem. In one sentence. Because that's what happened. Like, the heavy gentleman, he moved to the window seat. The wife, she sat in the middle. And the 15-year-old girl, she sat on the aisle and immediately fell asleep in her own lap because she was exhausted from becoming a woman. I think we can do that for one another, is my point. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you see a solution, say something. I was in New York City recently, in Chelsea, the homosexual neighborhood. I saw 3 firemen standing on a street corner in front of a leather bar, waiting to cross the street. I just thought to myself, nuh-uh, babies. Turn around, get in there, and make some dreams come true. This is New York City. Firemen are gods. They were actually wearing their, like, carabiners and... Can you imagine they just kicked in the door? I almost set the place on fire. What I'm trying to say is, we can be a part of one another's lives. Nobody should ever have to end up with their butt on somebody else's tummy unless they were specifically paid to be there by my best friend. And in that case, they love their job. I hope that as you enjoy the rest of your weekend, you'll just remember one thing. We are the most optimistic city in the country, nay, the world. And I want you to remember this because when you go to our beaches in Chicago, every summer, families will be eating sandwiches. People will be playing Frisbee. Attractive folks and unattractive folks will be burying their bodies on a beach. And then the next day, that same beach will be closed because of E. coli and too much poop in the water. Here's why we're the most optimistic city in the world. On the 3rd day, the day right after the poop day, back at the beach. You know what I mean? Yes, Chicago. I love that as a city, we just go to that beach and we say to ourselves, no, you don't understand. Yesterday there was poop in the water. Not today. It's not like this is a closed system. This is different water. Well, you guys have been just lovely. Thank you so much.
All right, so real quick. When can people see you next?
When can people see me next? When am I next? Every Wednesday night I host an amazing open mic at Cole's Bar in Logan Square. You should come to that, people. It's very fun. I know open mics are usually terrible. This is genuinely good. So see you there, yeah. It starts at 9:30. It goes till 2 o'clock in the morning. You have to stay for the entire thing. That's just, I do. You don't. Come and go as you please.
Thank you. Cameron Esposito, everyone.